This video is for those of us who want to use the student portal in Gradecam, and where we are starting is at the end of you creating your assessment in Gradecam. So you've made a new assignment, you've put in your key, you have the assessment, it's ready to go. You just want to know, okay, how do I make this available on the student portal so my kids can take it without me having to scan any bubble sheets, print and scan any bubble sheets. So you'll have your newest assessment up at the top here. Go ahead and click on your assessment that you're wanting to make available in the student portal. And what you need to see here is that if you've already created it, it by default goes to scans. You actually want to be in keys, because what that will do is bring up the proper navigation bar that you need. So go ahead and click on keys. And then you'll see over on the navigation bar that you have student portal. Click on student portal, and this is where you essentially make it available to your kids, but also what they can and cannot see upon taking the test. So you'll select a class, pick any of them, and then you'll select your calendar dates. Let's say I want to give the test tomorrow and I want it to start at the beginning of first bell. So I'll make it start at 8 a.m. And then I want to make it expire, and that's the terminology, make it expire at 9 a.m. So first bell ends at what, 8:53? We advise that you give a little bit of a cushion time. You don't want to ending right there in case you have a couple of stragglers at the end of the bell. Because if a student is in a quiz or in an assessment on Gradecam and they have not clicked turn in and the test expires, it wipes out their attempt completely, or they're going to have to retest. So just think of that as you're administering your big common assessments in the future. So you've set the date, you've set the time. Now what you need to do, and by the way, you can add another class. Just go up and select another class. Notice that it eliminates the other class that you've already assigned it to, and in the parentheses are the bells, so you know what bell you're assigning it to. So you can do that. Now you're under AP Psychology 4, and you can select a date. Now, while available is where you'll click that to, this is what students will see when the test is still available and not yet expired. So as soon as they submit it or turn it in, what do they see? I advise that you show them the graded score. They're going to want to know, unless it's like a two-part test and you don't want them to know yet. But then responses. So do you want to hide responses completely so there's no kind of remediation there? Do you want to show the responses, or show responses and what the fact that, which ones they got wrong? So it'll just show them a red X. So my students this morning said, it just shows me the red X, it doesn't show me the correct answer. And I said, yes, that's on purpose. So then you also have show responses and all correct answers. So if you're wanting them to do test corrections on their own, you'll want to make sure not to click that one. Also, for test security purposes, if you have your fourth bell taking it later in the day, you probably don't want to show them the correct answers. And then finally, show documents. So if you are going completely paperless with your assessment, like a quick quiz or something like that, or even your common assessments, you want to make sure that if you're uploading the PDF document to it, that you show the documents. I don't know when I would ever allow the download as well, because that's going to allow students to download the test. And I'm hoping that that puts up a red flag of test security for you. So I will just show the documents. Finally, you have after expiration. Show the graded score, which is nice, and then essentially the same options of what do you want them to see as far as their answers go, and then show documents. I actually will hide the document after it's expired. So what this looks like in my classroom is immediately once they turn it in, I have some time at the end of the bell normally. They can look at their tests and their answers and see what they got wrong, and the goal being for them to go back and in their minds find the right answer. But then after it's expired, which is normally about 10 minutes after the bell rings, they can't see the doc anymore. So there's no way that they can then go share those answers. And then you will click save. So you've made the assignment or the assessment available to students on the portal, but I actually forgot something. And we talked about how you show documents, but you got to make the document available in the first place. You got to put it onto Gradecam in the first place. So To the left of Student Portal, where we just were, you want to click on Attachments, and this is where it happens, okay? So you'll actually want to upload. You'll click on Upload, and anything that you upload has to be a PDF. So you go through, and I'm just going to find one here really quickly. It's not the correct thing, but I'm going to double click on this correlations worksheet. Let's pretend that it's this test, and bam, there it is. Notice that I have already uploaded the Unit 4 practice test to this assessment, and I have clicked to show in Student Portal. So there's actually two places. You have to click to show it in Student Portal here, but then you also in the Student Portal have to click while available to show the documents, and then if you don't want it to be shown after they're done, to hide the documents after expiration and click Save. So your work here is essentially done. You've put it in the Student Portal, you've made your documents available, you've customized what you want your kids to see while testing and when they're done, and you've uploaded the document, the PDF document of your test. Now the question is, how do students get to the portal? The quick way is telling them the URL, app.gradecam.com/sportal, student portal, but it's also available on our OHLSD portal. So you'll have them go to the portal, click on students, and they scroll all the way to the bottom and they'll see Gradecam. So that's a quick way of not giving them a URL, right? I would also recommend that in like your Google site, or maybe it's even Google Classroom, you do like a quick links in the About page on Google Classroom or in a sidebar on your site where students can see Gradecam, and that's a link to the portal very quickly for them. Now, what do students have to put in once they get to the student portal? You're actually going to go back to your main Gradecam dashboard here and click on your classes, because you want to give them their login codes. One note about the login codes, they are the same for every student for every bell. Okay, so it's not like Google Classroom where you have to have a different code to get into different classes. It's one login code per student, and then they automatically, their list of classes automatically populates because of the communication with Progress Book and Dazzle. So you'll go into your classes and then actually go into, like I'm going to go into my first bell, and you'll click on More. Okay, More, and then you'll see student login codes, and that brings up the printable version of all the login codes. When you click on print, you'll see that it actually prints them in sections that are very nice and easy to cut out. And I actually have some on my desk here, so I've cut them out, and I'm going to give them tape and say tape this either to your Chromebook or to your binder or planner or whatever it is that they have that they're going to have with them every single day. So that tells you how to make the assessment available on the student portal and how to get students in the portal. One other thing is that when students log in, over on the left-hand side, it gives them some options. By default, it goes to what is available, their assessments that are available. And if the assessment is open, if they're in that time window that you've opened, the assessment will show up. If they're outside of that, it'll be in the turned in, meaning if they've turned in their assignment, there's an option for them to click on that. If you do some remediation, want them to look back on their assessment, whatever that might look like in your classroom. If you have questions, make sure to email leadelcohhs@ohlsd.org. Thanks, have a great day.